Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Hope Logan seems to have developed a new crush on Carter Walton overnight. Just last month, Steffy Forrester's husband was the apple of Hope's eye. Is she really over Finn? Or is she using Carter? Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers ahead. Carter Walton did make the first move at Forrester Creations, so it's not like Hope Logan sought him out. And Carter has been laying it on pretty thick about Hope modeling lingerie for her fashion line. Carter's flirting was definitely not one-sided, and Hope is a willing participant. Is she taking advantage of the lonely Forrester Creations number cruncher though? The Bold and the Beautiful viewers can't help but notice how convenient it is that the man that controls Hope's numbers, and whether or not HFTF gets axed, is trying to hook up with her. Hope Logan's fashion line is her livelihood. Would she really go as far as leading poor Carter on to save it? In Hope Logan's defense, Carter Walton is quite a catch. He's unattached, doesn't have any baby mamas, hasn't been married to Steffy Forrester, and he's easy on the eyes. There's a chance Hope's attraction to Carter is genuine, but it's definitely a massive conflict of interest. According to Bold and Beautiful spoilers, it won't be long before Steffy starts to notice Hope and Carter's flirting and grows suspicious that Hope is using him to save her fashion line. Who could really blame her for thinking that? In hindsight, Steffy should probably just be grateful that Carter has distracted her from Finn. Do you think that Hope is leading Carter Walton on, or does she have actual feelings for him? Hope Logan stood by the large windows of Forrester Creations, the afternoon sun illuminating her golden locks. With her signature mix of innocence and poise, she tapped her red-bottomed heels on the sleek marble floor, watching as Carter Walton entered the office. Tall, suave, and powerful, Carter had a presence that could turn heads, something Hope planned to use to her advantage. It had been a whirlwind few months in Los Angeles. Her marriage with Liam was slowly unraveling, thanks to endless misunderstandings, betrayals, and heart itches. But Hope wasn't the same girl she once was. She had grown tired of being played as the victim in a web of love triangles. This time she was ready to take control, and Carter was just the man to help her do it. Only Carter had no idea he was walking into her web. "Hope," Carter greeted, his voice smooth and professional as ever. "You wanted to see me?" She turned with a bright smile, one that hinted at more than just a casual business conversation. "Yes, Carter. I wanted to discuss something personal." Carter tilted his head, curious. "What kind of personal?" "Let's just say I need someone I can trust." She paused, letting the words hang in the air, knowing full well how much Carter valued loyalty. "You've always been that for me." Hope's gaze softened as she took a step closer, brushing imaginary lint off his lapel. It was subtle but deliberate, an act to remind him just how close they had been over the years. Carter shifted slightly, caught off guard by her unexpected boldness. "What's on your mind, Hope?" he asked, his guard still up but slipping inch by inch. She let out a sigh, a well-practiced one. "It's about my future. I'm starting to wonder if Liam will ever really choose me, or if he's just waiting for the next excuse to run back to Steffy." There it was, the hint of vulnerability, perfectly timed. Hope knew men like Carter had a weakness for damsels in distress, especially ones wrapped in designer outfits and a polished smile. She leaned in, letting him catch a whiff of her perfume, just enough to make him forget, even for a second, that this wasn't a simple heart-to-heart. Carter was no fool, but Hope's charm was undeniable. He had tried to keep his life uncomplicated since his doomed romances with Zoe, Quinn, and Paris, but standing this close to Hope was making things complicated. "I just don't know what to do," she whispered, looking up at him with those wide, dull-like eyes. "You've always had such a clear sense of who you are. I wish I could be more like you." He frowned. "Hope, you're one of the strongest people I know." "Am I?" she asked softly, her hand lingering on his arm. In another life, Carter might have seen through her act, but Hope was good, too good. Every gesture, every look, every sigh was orchestrated to perfection. She needed him to believe in her, to think he was her knight in shining armor. And slowly but surely, it was working. Hope knew that Carter had been craving more than just physical connections. What he wanted, what he needed, was to feel wanted for who he was, not just what he could provide. "Carter," she said, taking a step back and adopting an air of hesitant bravery. "I've been thinking. What if you and I gave each other what we deserve?" He blinked, stunned. "What do you mean?" "Think about it." She smiled, the kind of smile that hinted at dreams just within reach. "You've been burned too many times. And me. I'm tired of waiting for Liam to figure out what he wants. We could be good for each other. Really good." Carter's mind raced. Was this a confession? A proposal? Hope, the woman he had admired from afar, was suddenly offering him a chance at something real, or at least it seemed that way. And yet, a flicker of doubt remained. What Carter didn't know was that Hope had no intention of giving him her heart. Not really. She needed a powerful ally, someone who could tip the balance of power at Forrester Creations and keep Liam second-guessing his choices. Carter was perfect for the role, loyal, dependable, and most importantly, emotionally vulnerable. If she played her cards right, she could have him wrapped around her finger without him even realizing it. And she was playing every note of this symphony with precision. Every glance, every touch, every carefully chosen word was designed to make Carter feel like he was the one in control. But the truth? Hope was the one pulling the strings. Days passed, and Carter found himself drawn deeper into Hope's orbit. She invited him to lunch, asked for his opinions on designs, and confided in him more than she had ever done before. Slowly but surely, she became a constant presence in his life, and he didn't mind one bit. One evening, after a late-night meeting, they found themselves alone in the office. Hope poured 2 glasses of wine and handed one to Carter, her fingers brushing his for just a moment longer than necessary. "To new beginnings," she whispered, her eyes glinting in the dim light. Carter hesitated for a heartbeat, then clinked his glass against hers. To new beginnings. As they drank, Hope knew the game was almost won. Carter was on the verge of falling completely under her spell. And once he did, she would have everything she needed: power, influence, and the satisfaction of knowing she was no longer a pawn in anyone else's game. The next morning, Carter found himself thinking about Hope more than he should have. He knew he was walking a dangerous line, but something about her made him feel alive in ways he hadn't in years. Little did he know that Hope was already 10 steps ahead. She had anticipated his every thought, every hesitation, and was ready to make her final move. By the end of the week, rumors began to swirl around Forrester Creations. Hope and Carter had been seen together too often, their conversations too intimate to be purely professional. Liam was furious, Steffy was suspicious, and the office buzzed with speculation. Hope, of course, played the innocent victim, just as she had planned. "Carter and I are just friends," she told anyone who asked, her voice dripping with sincerity. "He's been such a great support." But in private, she smiled to herself. She had played the game perfectly. Liam was off balance, Steffy was distracted, and Carter was firmly under her control. Hope Logan had always been the one people underestimated. Too sweet, too kind, too passive. That's what they used to say. But not anymore. She had learned how to play the game, and she was playing it better than anyone ever expected. And poor Carter Walton, he never stood a chance. Like a maestro conducting a flawless symphony, Hope Logan had orchestrated every moment, every emotion, every step of the way. Carter thought he was falling in love, but in reality, he was just another instrument in Hope's grand performance. As she watched him from across the office, her lips curled into a subtle smile. The game wasn't over, not by a long shot, and as long as she had the right tune, she could keep Carter dancing to her melody for as long as she needed. After all, a fiddle in the hands of a master always plays the sweetest song.